to get a group of guys in the club together, some fly fishers, and get the trout situated, and then everyone come out together and stock. It's kind of just a fun time to get everyone together and enjoy each other, and that's what it's all about.
There's a place, a garden for the young, to laugh and dance and safety among the shimmering light and the shade of the trees.
What did I think about Sam? Well, you better kill the sound here.
It's gonna be hard.
Ecological setbacks, disasters, and things like that sometimes are very unpreventable.
This used to be wild at one point.
So our goal is to help the fish hold over from season to season and hopefully spawn.
This is an important fishery. Love it and use it.
That was an awesome day. Stocking the fish and all that stuff. It's so amazing. It was a good day. Now we just got to drive home, and then once we get you guys home, I got a nice other extra 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours up to Catskills.
3 hours. First one's in, last one's out.
Yeah.
In true frequent flyer fashion.
Today we're stocking the White Clay Creek, Delaware section, fly fishing only. I'm Scott Rotting. I'm with the White Clay Fly Fishers. We're a not-for-profit organization, and today we're stocking the White Clay Creek, Delaware section. We're putting in about 460 to 470 fish, mix of various types of trout. So our goal is to help the fish hold over from season to season and hopefully spawn and get some more variety of trout into the stream. We have a lot of volunteers that help us do this. We work with the park, we work with the state, we gather the necessary permits. It's a great time, and we get a lot of help. We have a lot of fun in the process.
Diogo, you coming?
Yeah, I am. Hold on. Coming
Yeah,
for you.
Get it going. That's all right. I can just drag it right in.
Yep.
This water, we put some in here. They usually hang along those rocks on the far side over there. The next big pool, the Odonnell pool, is over your head. So you gotta be careful when you're walking, okay?
All right.
All right, so I'm gonna put this in and we'll get it going. I remember the day or the year that they basically designated the White Clay above Chambers Rock was going to be the fly stretch. I walked it, and it was like in late February, early March. And I said, this is going to be nice. My name is Ed Odonnell. I'm with the White Clay Fly Fishers. I've been a member for 20, 30 years, maybe longer. Originally from Philadelphia and then Bucks County, Pennsylvania, then moved here to Delaware in the 70s. I'm basically, my profession is urban planning. I'm on my 4th retirement right now. I've been fishing ever since I was 3 or 4 years old. I've been fly fishing almost as long as that. It's pretty good today. The flow right now is 68 cubic feet per second. Water temperature is 38 degrees.
Yeah, I've never even been to Delaware before.
Is that right?
Yeah, first time, and now we get to fish it. I'm excited to stock it.
We got our licenses on the way over here on our phones.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I managed to do that without falling down. I'm not the best fly fisherman in the world. My name is Sam Palermo. I am a retired chemist and toxicologist. I still am a volunteer firefighter. I've been that since I can't do the math anymore, since I was 17. It's been great to be retired for the last 16 years, even though some people claim I'm not retired, because I'm busier now than I ever was. As far as outdoor activities, of course, I'd have to list fly fishing as number one and hunting as number two. And I do a lot of hiking too. Not quite as much as my Appalachian Trail wife, but you know, a few hundred miles a year, or used to be more.
Sam and I have been fishing partners for a number of years, and hunting partners as well. And we've been through a lot of adventures and misadventures together.
Yes, so Ed and I, like he said, get into a lot of trouble, a lot of adventures together. And so we know how to needle each other really well and get a rise out of each other and the people around us.
What did I think about Sam? Well, you better kill the sound here. We had an episode in Montana where I lost a section of a rod and it was floating downstream. We were on the Gallatin, I believe it was, and he was downstream and I'm running downstream hollering, trying to catch this end of the rod, and he thinks it's a bear chasing me or something. He don't know what's coming down the stream. I think Sam's first comment was, "Is the rod okay?" He's been a true friend for a number of years.
There's a woodpecker up in that tree, just landed right there.
Oh, yeah? Yep.
Gotta be careful you don't overload the float. You know, it'll start going belly up on you.
Our club participates in both state-sponsored stocking, and last year, one of our members, Randy, out of kindness of his heart, through a generous donation from him and the club added to his donation, we started stocking the stream a year ago in the winter time, with the goal being that they'll hold over until spring.
I was just telling them we got some 1-inch rainbows for a project that Lee and I are doing.
Randy, I've only known for a year or two, but he reminds me of myself in 1992 when I first started fly fishing. And when I first started fly fishing, that's all there was for 24 hours a day. Was I would go out in the morning when the sun came up and I would come back after it came down. And that describes how I see Randy. He just loves the thing and he's just into it right up to his ears.
So I'm Randy Betts, and I run a channel called Fly Fish Delaware. This is a really neat hole. You have an island here that's splitting the creek, and it's coming down riffle, 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 and then it slows down. And I spell where, W-H-E-R-E, because I fish wherever I can, and it's just not in Delaware, but my home waters are Delaware. Build up of white foam, comes down in through here, gets deep, and boom, a rock. Whenever you see a rock in the middle, fish behind it, fish to the side of it, fish to the side of it, fish in front of it. And I started the page just for fun, just to kind of document. You know, one thing I love to do is I love catching fish and looking at the video, you know, a year down the road, or if it's a rainy day and I'm stuck at work, I can take a look at it. So I decided just to create a page, and so I could go back and reference. And it's gotten to the point where, you know, people would reach out and say, oh, you know, can you do this? Can you do that? And then it sort of turned into a teaching opportunity where I would kind of create these videos under 2 minutes. And it's kind of turned into a fun little channel to allow new fly fishers to learn the techniques that they might not be able to learn. And I love ending my videos with catching a fish. Hit the hopper. All right, well, that's pretty fun. There we go. Still has the hopper in its mouth. You know, there's a lot of people out there that will teach you the technique, but you never really get to see it come full circle with the trout at the end. So I always try to make sure that if I'm teaching something, I at least try to get a trout within that video.
And
Yeah,
that
I have
flowed
met him.
into the creek.
That's actually him right
That,
here.
that killed a lot of
Times and places are all in who you share them with. And it's life, and the point is enjoying who you share it with.
To get a group of guys in the club together, some fly fishers, and get the trout situated, and then everyone come out together and stock. It's kind of just a fun time to get everyone together and enjoy each other, and that's what it's all about.
And in time, what you find is the time is who you spend it with. Joy is who you share it with. Who you share it with. Who you share it with.
Those are some big browns.
The rainbows are pretty nice too.
You coming up? You want us to wait?
It's a little different than the normal stocking because we have gotten permission from the state and the park to declare this a catch and release zone until the end of February. We built those floats ourselves. It took me all summer to drill holes in that one and put those, but the old floats were made of wood with a metal bottom. And we loaded all the fish here and dragged them all the way upstream. What you saw today was the end result of a development of the float box idea. I think most organizations now use similar methods. All right, we're going to start up.
They can feel the current too, and they're just going
Yep.
right towards it. That's
Yep.
the
Trying to keep
craziest thing.
ourselves oriented towards the top.
And there was evidence that they were doing well, and then a fire at the farmhouse happened.
Ecological setbacks, disasters, and things like that sometimes are very unpreventable. Since I've been a volunteer firefighter for this long, a fire occurs. You have to put water on that fire. Some of the runoff from that water on one particular fire that happened in Pennsylvania went through a manure yard and got into the stream. That is a very bad effect on the stream, did an enormous fish kill.
And as you put the fire out, the water leached through the fertilizer and through the manure pits that they have there for fertilizer, and it basically killed all the fish. I was there the day that happened. I was fishing it that day.
This used to be wild at one point, so it has the entomology, it has the aquatic entomology, and it has the insects up top that'll lay eggs and continue to allow these trout to have a food source. And in hopes that if we can create a nice environment with less pressure, we can get these trout to kind of hold over for a couple years and become breeders. And then they can, get out of these headwaters and head way upstream to spawn.
All right, one more bucket down here.
One more bucket, and then we'll
Whatever you
start
want
taking
to
her
put
up.
in there. And not that much water. You have to put that much water. We'll get started up. Thank God it's cold.
Hi, Stu. How you doing? There's a rock right here.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir.
Going to shallow up real quick.
And then back deep.
Then go back deep. All right, we're right at the edge of the Odonnell pool. Okay, we'll put them in here, Sam.
I'll be fishing there sometimes, and I'll just start talking to a complete stranger, and they'll refer to the Odonnell pool, and I'll look over and say, well, you realize this is Ed Odonnell to my right that you're fishing. the hole was named after him.
I did not name that pool. That pool was named by all my friends. It's the deepest pool in the fly section in Delaware. And it's over your head. You have to be a little bit careful when you're into it.
He's just the best. I call him a fish whisperer. I can be fishing with the exact same hook or fly that he's using, the same type of setup, and he'll outfish me 8-1 on any given day.
Let it sink for a second.
Yep.
And now I'm just twitching it through. Just swimming it. Boom, boom.
That is nice. Good job. Let's net this guy for you. There you go. That's awesome.
I like to fish a lot with the green weenie, and I take a lot of grief about that. That's the fly right there, little fly. I take a lot of grief from the club members, but if it was good enough for Charlie Meck and Lefty Cray, it's good enough for Ed Odonnell.
We do this as kind of a outreach to the fishing community. It's important to partner with the community when people are walking, hiking down the trails. Today we've spoken with numerous folks that were just out hiking. People will stop and ask questions, or they can obviously see what we're doing today, and they'll thank us for what we're doing because they know that we're involved in the community and good stewards of the stream.
Whatever happens on the land eventually winds up in the water. So you need to be very cognizant of what's going on the land, and you have to pay very close attention to the land practices and best management practices.
All right, yeah, we're going to put a few fish in here. We'll spread them along. Okay, what do you think, Ed? Some fish in it? Yep.
Right here?
Yeah.
All right.
Release the hounds. Now we're going to step up and do some more just above this. Eventually they work their way downstream anyway. Take one fish and give it a good heave in the middle of the pool. Yeah, do a slam dunk way out there.
Ready?
Good. Well, you're out of the NBA.
No way to treat a fish.
Have you seen how they stock them in Colorado? They just drop them out of a moving airplane.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Nothing happens around, as far as, the trout fishery on the fly stretch without volunteers. And the volunteering part is very important.
Yeah, just watch your footing down there. It's got
Okay, why don't you put some in? You haven't put any in yet.
Yeah, come on, Sam.
All
All right, let's see. All right, we'll do a hand release if that's okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right,
There you go.
so I'm gonna go
You give him a good heave.
give him a good heave.
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
That was a tiger. I didn't order tigers, but she threw one in there.
Nice. I've never even seen one before.
The ultimate goal is to eventually make this a wild trout stream. It might take 10 years, but I think if we continue to take care of this stream, I think we have a huge opportunity to get this back to a wild stream. And if that happens, then that's the point.
The trout will revert to a more natural behavior. When we first put them in from the hatchery, they're used to being fed, and so almost any fly can work, especially anything with motion. Okay, there's nobody left in the hotel.
Stewardship is very important, and the education of that stewardship, especially in the younger generation, is very important. Helping to clean up, the stream and things like that. So that's all part of the stewardship.
Stocking was sick. Stocking was awesome. Definitely like an experience watching and actually like being a part of it, helping with it was awesome.
I say we move away from the heron. No, he's there, yeah. So let's move up and find some deeper holes upstream.
Here's the thing. I don't know how far can we go up?
Check on trout routes.
Because I think at a certain part, it becomes
It'll show
a
you.
different state. And we just got the Delaware licenses today.
Yeah, it'll show you on it. And not only that, it'll show you the borders of the state as well. From here upriver, this is all fly fishing, and we're good to fish it. You see how it highlights everything?
Yeah.
So we can move up this way.
What do you use this up in the Catskills?
Did I use it all the time?
You do?
Yeah. Like it's like a godsend. It's awesome. I didn't know that that's how they like stock trout and stuff. I was pretty stoked about it.
Yeah, I always thought it was just like a big truck rolling in and just like dumping 1,000 trucks. Like this was all individual, and it was pretty cool.
One of the things that got me riled up is actually seeing what size trout they're putting in there.
Dude, Randy had a 24-inch trout. It was enormous. I mean, it's a stock trout, but eventually the goal is for it to be wild.
Do you see the size of brookies they put in here? Oh my God, I've never seen a brookie that big.
If I catch that, it'll be my PB brookie
I'll
forever.
go, yeah.
I'll never beat it.
There wouldn't be that fishery without stewardship and the care for the environment. If you're not watching, again, the land practices, the best management practices, and the water quality, that's very important because it affects what happens in that stream.
The issue is there's not a lot of trout around, and it's a put and take. And if the trout are being taken out of here, they don't really get a chance to breed and go through a breeding cycle. You do something like this and guys get core memories. So they'll come out, and every time they come out, they're gonna try to catch something a little bit bigger and remember the day that they caught.
Once hooked one of these things up in a tree and I pulled it off the tree and a fish came up, took it. And it was the biggest fish I caught that day.
Well, here's a little brown trout. It looks really small.
Maybe a wow.
Hey, that's the dream. That's what we're going for today.
From time to time, we've seen evidence that looks like trout that are really small, so they weren't stocked. So there may be some evidence, but it's very sporadic. I mean, it's not there all the time, but it does happen once in a while. Sam has caught some. I've caught some that still had paw marks on them. They're about that big. The white clay fly fishers does a lot of volunteer work with children, the adults, with handicap groups and things like that. And it's an introduction of getting people into the outdoors, getting them to appreciate the natural resource and the importance of that natural resource.
To be able to give the community of fly fishers, the ability to just get on the water, catch a couple trout, and enjoy it, makes me feel really good to be able to do that. So, there's not a lot of good fly fishing areas around here, per se, not even good fishing creeks around here that hold trout. And I would always have to drive 2 to 3 hours up into the Poconos. And, it was once I started having kids and work got really busy, I had a really hard time saying, well, I'm gonna go spend, 5 hours, 6 hours and fish up on the Poconos. So I found these streams, which have trout in them, once or twice a year, just from stocked, but nothing over the winter. So I decided that this would be great. It's close to home. It's about 20 minutes from my house. And I would be able to fish in the morning before the kids get up and fish on the way home from work if I had some time. And, I thought this would be a great body of water to kind of make my home fishing. The more time you can get on the water, the more experience you'll have. And the more experience you have, you'll learn what's right and what's wrong and what you can do and what you're capable of. And you'll always get better every single time you're on the water. But there's nothing like actually getting on the water and catching trout. Fishing is a time to get away, and when you're focused directly on your flies and you're trying to catch a trout, almost everything else disappears. It really gives you the opportunity to kind of just let loose and forget about life, forget about work, forget about whatever it is that's bothering you at that particular moment. The forever hope of catching your next trout will haunt every fly fisher, and that's what keeps you coming back. There we go. It's a gorgeous brown, actually. That's me sometimes. Sometimes I have the best timing.
This is an important fishery. We ought to respect it, love it, and use it. We have something special here.
There's a way that seems right to a man, till he's in overhead and he don't understand how the plans he made only led him astray. But every good gift come down from above, from a Lord alive, like a labor of love upon a child who waits for him.